In the bustling heart of Katala Trading Center, where the air was thick with the aroma of roasting meat, a roadside stall drew crowds like moths to a flame. The sizzle of grilled cuts, the chatter of hungry passers-by, and the hum of daily life painted a vivid scene. At the center of it all stood Elias, a charismatic butcher whose stall was a local legend. His meat was impossibly tender, suspiciously cheap, and always abundant. But beneath the savory allure, whispers of doubt began to swirl, setting the stage for a scandal that would unravel the town's trust in its favorite butcher. Every market day, Elias's stall was a hive of activity. Customers lined up, drawn by the promise of affordable melt-in-your-mouth meat. Elias, with his wide grin and quick hands, claimed to slaughter 3 goats daily, yet the trays of meat seemed to multiply like magic. A single goat's worth of meat couldn't possibly stretch that far, could it? The bones, too, were curiously scarce, rarely seen in the trays, as if they'd vanished into thin air. The townsfolk didn't mind at first. The meat was delicious, the prices unbeatable, and Elias, charmed, disarmed even the most skeptical. He'd joke with customers, tossing in extra cuts for regulars, his laughter echoing over the market's din. But as the weeks passed, the whispers grew louder. How could one man produce so much meat? Why were the bones so shy? And why did the texture sometimes feel off? The spark of suspicion. One humid afternoon, a sharp-tongued woman named Mama Aisha stepped up to Elias's stall, known for her no-nonsense attitude. She wasn't one to let things slide. Elias, give me 2 kilos of goat meat, she demanded, her eyes scanning the glistening cuts on display. Elias, ever the showman, sliced a generous portion and wrapped it in paper with a flourish. But as Mama Aisha inspected the meat, her brow furrowed. This doesn't look right, she said, holding the slab up to the sunlight. Is this goat or something else? The crowd around her quieted, sensing the tension. Elias's smile faltered, but he recovered quickly. Mama Aisha, you wound me. This is the finest goat meat you'll ever taste. That piece just has extra fat. He reached for another cut, but Mama Aisha wasn't having it. Fat, you say? She snapped, leaning closer. Let me smell it. She brought the meat to her nose, inhaled deeply, and recoiled. Elias, this smells like it's been to places goats don't go. The crowd murmured, some chuckling, others exchanging uneasy glances. Elias laughed, but it was a nervous sound like a man caught in a lie. Mama, you know how people talk when business is good. They're jealous. My meat is pure goat. I swear I even sing to the goats before slaughter makes them tender. The crowd erupted in laughter, but Mama Aisha wasn't amused. Sing to them. What do they dance for you too? She shot back, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Just then, a man named Juma arrived on his bicycle, his face etched with curiosity. He'd overheard the commotion from across the market. What's going on here? He asked, dismounting. Mama Aisha thrust the meat toward him. Smell this, Juma. Tell me if this is goat. Juma took a whiff, then poked the meat with a skeptical finger. Elias, this feels too soft, like it's never seen a bone in its life. The crowd pressed closer, their curiosity piqued. Juma, emboldened, pointed at the butchery entrance. Let me see where you're cutting this meat. Show us the goats. Elias's face hardened. Are you the health inspector now? He barked, stepping in front of the door. This isn't a tourist attraction. Juma, undeterred, hopped back on his bicycle and pedaled toward the home of the local council chairman, determined to bring official scrutiny to Elias's operation. Meanwhile, Mama Aisha had her own plan. She stuffed the questionable meat into a plastic bag, hopped onto a boda motorcycle, and rode to the nearby stage where a group of riders lounged under a tree. Boys, smell this, she said, passing the meat around like evidence in a courtroom. The riders, accustomed to gossip and intrigue, examined the meat with exaggerated care. One sniffed it and grinned. Unless goats have started growing scales. This isn't goat. Another poked it with a stick. This is softer than my pillow. Elias, what are you feeding us? And the riders' laughter rang out, but their concern was real. Take this to the chairman, one urged. If he eats it and starts barking, we'll know what's up. Mama Aisha nodded, her resolve hardening. She wasn't done with Elias yet. The chairman's arrival. Back at the chairman's compound, Juma was out of breath as he recounted the tale. Chairman, Elias's meat is suspicious. It doesn't look right, doesn't smell right. We need to check his butchery. The chairman, a calm man named Dame Dud, listened intently. He'd heard the rumors about Elias before, but rumors alone weren't enough. We'll visit the butchery, he said, stroking his chin, but we'll go in the evening when the market's quiet. We need to see the truth without the chaos. Meanwhile, Mama Aisha returned to the butchery with a new tactic. She'd cooked the meat, seasoning it with onions and spices, and presented it to Elias in a steaming bowl. Here, Elias, she said loudly, drawing the crowd's attention. I've cooked your meat. You trust it, don't you? Have a taste. The villagers leaned in, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Elias's smile was gone now, replaced by a nervous twitch. Mama, I just ate, he stammered. Big lunch, ugly and soda, my stomach's full, the crowd wasn't buying it. Eat it. Someone shouted, don't be afraid of your own goats. Another chimed in. Elias tried every excuse, ulcers, fasting, even a sudden allergy to spices. But the villagers were relentless. They held the bowl closer, the aroma taunting him. Just as the pressure peaked, Chairman arrived with his team, their presence silencing the crowd. Elias, Purdy began, his voice calm but firm. We've heard complaints. We need to see your operation. Elias wiped his brow with a rag, his confidence crumbling. Chairman, it's just jealousy. People want to ruin me. If you, innocent, you have nothing to hide, Per replied. Show us the goats. The team entered the butchery, their eyes scanning the suspiciously clean space. The counters were spotless, the trays neatly arranged, but something felt too perfect. They checked under tables, behind curtains, and finally opened a door to a back room. Inside, they found bones, piles of them, but not the kind you'd expect from goats or cows. Some were long and thin, others oddly jointed, like relics from an unknown creature. An elder in the group picked up a bone and whispered, "This looks like it belonged to something that sang hymns before it died." The room grew tense, held up a peculiar bone with 3 toes and a neck like curve. Elias, what animal is this? He asked, his voice sharp. Elias stammered, it's special cuts from rare breeds. My supplier, but his words were drowned out by the crowd's gasps. The villagers outside had caught wind of the discovery, and the news spread like wildfire. Some clutched their stomachs, imagining the meat they eaten last week. Others shouted, I knew it, that meat was too soft. He shook his head. Elias, you've been feeding us mysteries, this ends now. The butchery was shut down that day, and Elias was ordered to refund customers, those who could still recall how much they'd bought. The scandal became legend, and the villagers of Katala turned into amateur meat inspectors, sniffing, poking, and questioning every cut they purchased. The mysterious box. As the inspection continued, a young man named Kwaku spotted something in a dusty corner of the butchery, a metallic box, locked tight and tucked away like a guilty secret. Chairman, make him open this, Kwaku said, pointing. Elias's face drained of color. That's just old tools, mumbled. Nothing important, raised an eyebrow. If it's nothing, why do you look like you've seen a ghost? Elias's hands shook as he fumbled for excuses. The key's lost, he said. Maybe stolen, or in the toilet. The crowd burst into laughter, but Burdett wasn't amused. Toilet, you keep keys in the toilet for safety, he asked, his voice dripping with skepticism. Elias cornered, bolted toward the toilet, claiming he'd checked for the key. He locked himself inside, shouting, I'm looking, it's hiding. Minutes passed, then more. The villagers grew restless. He's flushing the evidence. One woman yelled, or knocked on the door. Elias, are you crafting a new key in there? The crowd demanded the door be broken down, but held up a hand. We'll get the truth, he said. One way or another, the story paused here, leaving the villagers and the audience hanging on one question. What was in the metallic box? Was it more strange meat, incriminating evidence, or something no one could have predicted? A village transformed. The great Elias butchery scandal changed Katala forever. Villagers became wary, their trust in roadside meat shaken. They sniffed their purchases, questioned butchers, and shared stories of the day Elias. Secrets came to light, the tale spread beyond the trading center, a cautionary reminder to always know what's on your plate. As for Elias, he vanished from Katala, leaving behind only rumors and a locked box. Some say he started a new stall in a far-off town, others that he swore off meat entirely, but the metallic box remained a mystery, its contents a puzzle that would haunt Katala's market days for years to come. So, the next time you bite into roadside meat, pause, ask yourself, is this goat, or is it gossip on a stick? And stay tuned for the next chapter, where the truth about Elias's box might just shock you more than his meat ever did.